My dear friends, let me ask you something right now, and I want you to be completely honest with yourself. When was the last time someone said something to you, did something to you, and you felt your whole day collapse? Maybe it was this morning, maybe it was yesterday, maybe it's happening right now as you're listening to me. You know what I'm talking about. Someone cuts you off in traffic and suddenly you're furious for the next hour. Your boss makes a comment in a meeting and your stomach drops. Your mother criticizes your choices and there you are, 35 years old, feeling like that small child again, seeking approval you'll never get. Look at me. I need you to understand something. You are living in a prison you don't even see, and the worst part, you handed the keys to everyone else. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, when I was still new in my practice, a fellow monk criticized my meditation technique in front of others. He said I was doing it wrong, that I'd never progress this way. And you know what I did? I let that comment control me for 3 entire days. 3 days I couldn't sleep, I couldn't practice. I was consumed by anger, by shame, by the need to prove him wrong. That's when my teacher looked at me and said, "Tenzin, who gave him permission to live rent-free in your mind?" Do you see what I'm saying? We've given our emotional remote control to other people. We've said, "Here, you push the buttons. You decide if I'm happy or sad today. You determine my peace." When did you make that decision? Really think about it, because I promise you, you never consciously said, "Yes, I want to suffer based on what other people think and do." It just happened. We were conditioned this way. We learned it from childhood, from society, from everyone around us doing the same thing. And listen, this isn't weakness, this isn't failure, this is human. We all do this. I still catch myself doing it, even after decades of practice. But here's what I know to be true. It doesn't have to be this way. Today, right here, right now, we begin the journey of taking back what was always yours, your emotional freedom, your peace, your power. You ready? Then stay with me. All right, my friends, listen to me carefully now. We need to understand what's actually happening in that moment when someone hijacks your emotions, because you can't fix what you don't understand. So let's break this down together. Someone does something. They say a word, they give you a look, they forget to call you back. That's all that happened, just a simple action in the world. But then what do? You take that action and you run it through this machine in your mind. This machine that creates meaning, that builds stories, that decides what everything means. Your friend doesn't text you back. The machine says, "They don't care about me. I'm not important. I'm being rejected." You see what's happening between what they did and how you feel. There's this whole interpretation process, and that's where the suffering comes from, not from what they did, from the story you're telling yourself about what they did. The Buddha taught about this. He called it Vedana, the feeling tone that arises. There's this split second, this tiny gap between something happening and your reaction to it. Most of us, we never see that gap. It's too fast. Someone insults us and boom, we're angry. We don't even notice the space in between. But that space, that's where your freedom lives. Let me tell you a story. The Buddha once said we're like a man hit by a poison arrow, and instead of removing the arrow, we're asking, who shot this? What kind of wood is this arrow made of? Why did they do this to me? Meanwhile, the poison spreads. You do this, don't you? Be honest. Someone hurts you, and you spend hours, days asking why. You replay it, you analyze it, you tell your friends about it, and all that time you're keeping the arrow in the wound. Here's what actually happens. Someone acts, you interpret, you create meaning, you suffer. 4 steps. and the only step they controlled was the first one. Think of it like this. Imagine you're sitting in a movie theater and someone's projecting images on the screen in front of you. Those images, they're not about you. They're about what's in the projector, what's in that other person's mind. But you take those images personally. You make them about you. So here's what I want you to do for me this week. Just once, catch yourself in a trigger moment and simply notice it. Don't fix it, don't change it, just see it happening. That's all. You can do that, right? Okay, my friends, I'm going to say something you might not like. You ready? Here it is. Nobody can make you feel anything. Nobody. Not your partner, not your boss, not your parents, not that stranger who was rude to you at the coffee shop. Nobody. No, I see some of you tensing up already. But Tenzin, you don't understand what they did to me. And you're right, I don't. I don't know your specific pain. But I do know this. The moment you say someone made you feel something, you've given them all your power, all of it. Listen, a few years ago, a student came to me. She was so angry at her family. They made me anxious, she said. They made me feel worthless. They made me this way. And I asked her, so you're saying they have a remote control to your emotions? They can push buttons and control how you feel? She didn't like that question, but it made her think. Because here's what I'm trying to tell you. This isn't about blame. It's not about saying it's all your fault. That's not what I'm teaching here. I'm talking about responsibility, and there's a huge difference. Responsibility means ability to respond. It means you get to choose. When you say, they made me angry, you're saying you had no choice. But when you say, I felt anger arise when they did that, do you hear the difference? One makes you a victim. One makes you powerful. Think about a thermostat versus a thermometer. A thermometer just reacts to the temperature around it. No choice. A thermostat? It sets the temperature. It decides. Which one are you being? I know. This feels uncomfortable. It's scary to accept this level of responsibility. Because if you accept that they can't make you feel things, then you also have to accept that you've been choosing to suffer. That's hard. I get it. I've been there. And yes, before you ask, what about real harm? What about abuse? Listen to me carefully. This is not about excusing bad behavior. If someone treats you poorly, that's on them. Absolutely. Set your boundaries. Walk away if you need to. But your emotional response, that's still yours to manage. This isn't about letting people hurt you. It's about not letting them control your inner peace. There's a difference. Close your eyes with me for a moment. No, really, do it. Imagine someone just said something cruel to you right now. Feel that feeling starting to rise in your chest. That heat, that tension, that impulse to react, to defend, to attack back. Now, right before you react, there's this tiny space, this gap. Most of us never notice it because we're moving too fast. We're on autopilot, stimulus, reaction, boom, no pause, no choice. But Viktor Frankl, he knew about this space. He said between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. Let me tell you what happened to me once. I was giving a Dharma talk, pouring my heart out, sharing these teachings. And this man in the back, he stood up and said my teaching was superficial, that I didn't understand real Buddhism. And I felt it, that fire in my chest, that need to prove him wrong, to defend myself. But then something happened. I took a breath, just one breath. And in that breath, I found this tiny space. And in that space, I got to choose. I didn't have to react from that hurt place. I could respond from wisdom instead. This is what we call sati in Pali, mindfulness. It's the practice of widening that gap, making that space bigger so you can actually see your choices. Think of it like this. Emotions are like storm clouds passing through the sky. The sky doesn't try to push the clouds away. It doesn't grab onto them and keep them there. The sky just lets them pass through. You can be the sky, my friends, not the storm. Here's what I want to teach you right now. When you feel triggered, before you say anything, before you do anything, take 3 breaths. That's it. 3 conscious breaths. I'm not talking about suppression here. I'm not saying deny your feelings. Feel them, absolutely. But don't react from them automatically. There's a huge difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is unconscious. Responding is conscious. Reacting gives your power away. Responding keeps it with you. The pause, that's where your freedom lives. The pause, that's where you reclaim your power. The pause. Let me say that again. The pause. Let's practice together right now. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. See? That's the space. Right there. Start with 1 breath. Just 1. That's enough. My dear friends, I see you. I know how much it hurts when someone criticizes you, when they judge you, when they have opinions about your life. I know that pain. I've lived it. I still feel it sometimes. But let me teach you something that changed my life. Are you ready? Here it is. Their opinion of you is just a thought in their mind. It's not a fact. It's not the truth about who you are. It's just a thought passing through their consciousness based on their experiences, their wounds, their projections. We have this teaching in Buddhism, anatta, non-self. And one of the things it means is this. You are not what people think you are. You're not their opinions, their judgments, their ideas about you. Those things, they're about them, not you. A few months after I started teaching publicly, I gave what I thought was a beautiful talk. I put everything into it. And afterwards, someone came to me and said it was the worst Dharma talk they'd ever heard, just tore it apart. And you know what I noticed? I felt crushed for days. But then I asked myself, whose opinion am I trying to meet? Who gets to decide if my teaching has value? And more importantly, why am I giving this person so much power over my sense of self-worth? Think about opinions like clouds passing through the sky, here today, gone tomorrow. Someone loves you today, hates you tomorrow. Someone thinks you're amazing, someone else thinks you're terrible. The opinions keep changing. They're not solid, they're not permanent, they're just clouds. So I'm going to ask you something hard. Whose life are you living? Whose approval do you really need? Because I promise you, if you spend your whole life trying to control what people think about you, you'll waste your whole life. But Tenzin, what if they're right about me? I hear you thinking this. Listen, sometimes criticism has truth in it. Sometimes it's useful. Take what's useful. Learn from it. Grow from it. But don't let it define you. Don't let it control your emotions. Here's a practice. When you notice yourself being controlled by someone's opinion, just note it. There's that again. There's me seeking approval. That's it. No judgment, just awareness. You already have everything you need inside you. You don't need their validation. You don't need their approval. Let that sink in for a moment. Really feel it. You are complete right now, exactly as you are. Their opinion is about them, not about me. Say that with me. Their opinion is about them, not about me. My friends, it's time we talk about something important. Boundaries. Not the kind that keep people out with walls and barriers. I'm talking about emotional sovereignty. I'm talking about choosing your responses instead of being at the mercy of everyone else's moods. You know what emotional sovereignty is? It's this. You get to decide what you let in. You get to choose how you respond to what comes at you. Not in a cold way, not in a harsh way, but in a conscious way. Think of it like this. Some of us live in houses with all the doors and windows wide open. Whatever weather comes, rain, wind, storms, it all comes rushing in. Someone's in a bad mood, it becomes your bad mood. Someone's anxious, you're anxious. Someone's angry, now you're angry too. But sovereignty means you can have doors. You can choose what you let in. You can say, I see your anger, and I'm not taking it into my body. I had a student once, beautiful soul. She was like a sponge. She absorbed everyone's emotions. Her mother's disappointment, her partner's stress, her co-worker's frustration. She came to me exhausted, depleted. Tenzin, I feel everything everyone feels. How do I stop? And I taught her this. You can honor someone's feelings without making them yours. You can have compassion without carrying their burdens. This is loving kindness, metta, but it starts with yourself first. Here's what I want you to do. Identify your top 3 emotional triggers. Maybe it's when someone's disappointed in you. Maybe it's when you feel ignored. Maybe it's when someone's critical. Write them down, and for each one, create a response plan. What will you say to yourself? How will you breathe? What boundaries will you set? And here's a phrase I want you to practice. I honor your feelings, and I choose my own. Say it out loud right now. I honor your feelings, and I choose my own. Now some of you are thinking, but isn't that selfish? No, it's not. You know the airplane safety instruction? Put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. Same thing. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't help anyone if you're drowning in their emotions along with them. This isn't being cold, my friends. This is being sovereign. There's a huge difference. Cold is shutting down. Sovereign is staying open but grounded. Cold is disconnecting. Sovereign is connecting from a place of strength. You're not responsible for other people's emotions. You're responsible for your own. That's freedom right there. Let me tell you about a practice that transformed my entire life. We call it upekkha in Pali, equanimity. And no, before you get confused, this doesn't mean you don't care. This doesn't mean you become a stone. Listen to me carefully now. Equanimity is not indifference. Equanimity is like a mountain. You know what happens to a mountain when a storm comes? Nothing. The mountain stands, the storm rages around it, rain, wind, lightning, and the mountain just is. It doesn't fight the storm, it doesn't run from the storm. It allows the storm while remaining itself. That's what I'm teaching you, to be the mountain while the storms of other people's emotions rage around you. A few years ago, my brother called me. He was furious about something I'd said to our mother. He was yelling, accusing, trying to make me feel guilty. And you know what I noticed? I felt completely calm, not cold. I could feel compassion for his pain, but I wasn't swept up in it. I wasn't defending. I wasn't attacking back. I was just present. That's equanimity. Now, some of you are thinking this means you don't care about people. That's not it at all. You can care deeply and still maintain your balance. You can love someone and still not take on their suffering as your own. Here's a practice I do every morning. I sit quietly and I say to myself, may I meet whatever arises today with peace. May I remain balanced in the face of pleasure and pain, praise and blame, gain and loss. Try it right now. Say it with me. May I meet whatever arises with peace. And when emotions come, because they will come, try this. It's called RAIN. Recognize what you're feeling. Allow it to be there without fighting it. Investigate it with kindness. Where do you feel it in your body? And then nurture yourself with compassion. You know what? This is hard. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend it's easy. Some days I'm that mountain. Some days I'm the storm myself. But that's okay. That's the practice. We're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to be aware. When someone you love is suffering, you can be present without drowning in their pain. When someone's angry at you, you can listen without becoming defensive. This is equanimity, balanced presence. Right now, place your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. That's your center. That's your mountain. No matter what storms come, this remains. You remain. My dear friends, look how far we've traveled together. When we started, you were in that prison, giving everyone else the keys to your emotional life. And now you're learning to take those keys back. Let me tell you about someone who came to me 3 years ago. She was a mess. Her words, not mine. Every interaction sent her spinning. Her mother's comments, her boss's moods, her friends' opinions. She lived in constant emotional chaos, always reacting, always defending, always hurting. Last month she came back to see me, and you know what she said? Tenzin, I finally feel like I'm living my own life. I'm still affected by things, but I'm not controlled by them anymore. I come back to my center. That's what I want for you. To live from your center instead of from everyone else's expectations, to respond instead of react, to choose your peace over being right. Can you feel the difference inside you, even just from these teachings? Do you notice how much lighter you feel when you're not carrying everyone else's emotional baggage? But listen, this isn't a destination. This is a practice. Every single day you'll have opportunities to either give your power away or keep it. Some days you'll remember these teachings. Some days you'll forget and react from that old wounded place, and that's okay. That's being human. Here's what I want you to do. Each evening, ask yourself this question: whose emotions am I carrying today that aren't mine? And if you find any, set them down. Gently, with love, but set them down. And here's my final request: share this wisdom. When you see someone suffering from emotional reactivity, be gentle with them. Remember how hard this journey is, and maybe, just maybe, you can help them find their own freedom. May you walk in peace, my friends. May you remain unmoved by the storms others create around you. May you always find your way back to your center, to that quiet place inside that no one else can touch. Thank you for having the courage to take this journey with me. Thank you for wanting to be free. And remember this: you are not alone in this struggle. We're all learning together. Your peace was never outside you. It was always yours. Always, right here in your own heart. Now go, live from that place, and when you forget, because you will, come back. Just come back to your center. Go in peace.